This is But the Years Are Short, the podcast where mamas who are therapists share real advice for real families. I'm Meagan.
And I'm Katie. And we want to be your front porch community where you can laugh and learn with us about the beautiful, messy, overwhelming, hilarious work of raising kids.
Because the days are long,
but the years are short. Okay, so Meagan, today we're talking about mom guilt. And when we set out to do this podcast, how do you feel about doing this topic?
I don't know why. I know. Not. This one's been hard. We have been supposed to be doing this one for a couple weeks now, and I keep being like, "It's not fun. Let's try a different one. Let's try a different one."
I know.
I think. Yeah, I don't like this one. I don't find it fun, Katie.
Yes, I know. We have been putting it off because I think that it's probably because it resonates with us.
You're right. Yeah. I think, this one is, talking about mom guilt is hard because I feel like I typically walk around being like, I'm fine. I got this. I'm Supermom. I got the mom thing. I do the work thing. I do it all great. And I think that is not always true. And so this one feels very hard. It's not fun.
Which part do you feel like is not true?
Great question. I think what's not true is expectation that I actually hold for myself of what Supermom is. And so like part of me is like, no, that literally isn't, it's like, do you know, there's like those two sides. Like, so there's a piece of me that's like, I know that's literally unattainable and ridiculous that I'm like trying to hold my cape and my Wonder Woman stands because I love one. But, and no, it's unattainable. And I still like want to shoot for it and still work probably way too hard to get there. And I fall short, right? And so there's that guilt piece.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mom guilt. So this is, it's funny. I was talking to somebody the other day, a man, incidentally, about, I said that our next episode was on mom guilt. And he goes, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was like, have you not heard that before? And he was like, yeah, what's that? And so I'm just going to lay out the concept of mom guilt. So mom guilt is the feeling that we have because the expectations for us are wild. So we are, in this day and age, supposed to be able to be incredible mothers in all of the ways.
Yeah, like emotionally available, nurturing, making all the meals, making all the things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have our kids clothed beautifully.
All put together.
Well put together all the time. The home should be clean and beautiful also, and well decorated. We should be able to work a lot and make good money. We should be, really the expectation is we should be married.
Yes.
And should have fulfilling emotional relationships, sexual relationships. And all of that should be done gracefully.
You forgot the fact that we have to be all the friends and all the people and all the community.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. Contributing members of our community.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. And I don't want to undercut the fact that like men have a ton of expectations also.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're talking about.
We are not. Focus on those mama pieces.
Yeah, for today. That's what we're doing. So with the mom guilt piece. All right. So I think what's helpful is to remember, and where we really want to kind of land the plane today is talking about balance and what balance really looks like.
Yeah.
In our world. Because where you started, Meagan, was like, I like to pretend like I can do all these things. And I really live very much in that space as well. So we're going to get around to what balance might look like, how we can work at that. How do we set our intentions there? What happens when we fall short and how we get recentered?
Yeah.
But let's start with like what the biggest challenges are that you face and what you hear other parents face around being balanced and where the guilt shows up. So what do you think here?
Well, I think it's funny because I think the title of our podcast is often where I feel like a lot of where the guilt comes, right? Is like, but the years are short. I know.
Yeah.
But it's true. I think the thing that I hear the most from friends or other people and myself is this idea, Katie, that like these are short. Like these milestones and these pieces for our kiddos aren't going to last forever. And I think that can feel when we are working full-time jobs and balancing the kids, like I have to miss things, and like to think like this is a short period of time that I'm going to have to miss. It can be hard and it can hit, right? And I think that's a big piece of where I often feel the guilt and I hear the guilt. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's true. So this is actually funny timing. So our kids, we told them years and years ago that we would take them to the Texas State Fair every other year, right? And so last year we missed, and it was supposed to be the year to take them. And then, so I told them I would take them this year. And y'all, I love the Texas State Fair and I hate the Texas State Fair. So it is
very accurate description. Let's be honest.
So I love it because I love corny dogs, and
Fletchers.
Yes, every
time.
They
are the best. Yeah,
and I tell my kids that every year I tell them that I will have 11 of them. I have I have one. They are so delicious, and the lines are stupid long.
Yeah.
And everything there costs at least $10, right? Like any.
Yes.
Like
no,
yeah.
Katie, it's coupons. It's just coupons.
Okay. So you got to buy, 17 coupons at a time, and everything is like 11 coupons.
Yes.
So it's like the whole thing's a freaking racket, and there's 47 gazillion people, and I'm claustrophobic a little, and so the whole thing is like you go and see the animals, and there's a car show, and I like to sit in the cars, and I like to go see the animals, and then there's like the fairway, I think is what they call it, where there's like the games, and there's rides, and there's like all the things, and I love that, and it's really expensive. There's a ton of people, and so love hate, right? So anyway, so I'm supposed to take them this year, and all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah, it goes fast.
Yeah, it's over in like 4 days. And all of these days are booked for me. And so my kid says to me, I pick her up the other day from something, and she was like, Mom, the fair's over in 4 days. Which of these days are we going? And I was like, oh, no.
She did not forget.
She did not forget, and I forgot. And so I can see the like tears welling up in her eyeballs. And all of these days, by the way, are like working days, right?
Yeah.
For me, they're all off for her because she's got fall break, because of course she does. And I feel instantly terrible because I have to work. She wants to go to the fair. And so onset of mom guilt, right?
Yep.
Because I can't
It's
be
hard.
in all the places and at all the times.
Yeah.
And so what do? Of course, I have cleared my Tuesday so that I can take her to the fair. And so it means that some of the balls are going to get dropped, right? The balls at work are going to get dropped so that I can go to the fair on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it will all be fine. And I'm going to feel guilty on the work side because I'm missing at least half a day of like billable time. And in our world, we don't get a half day. Like we don't get PTO.
Nope.
So we'll just see. Yeah, I mean, the struggle is real,
It is. It is real.
It's real.
And I think for us is like how, right? Okay, so I love the idea of like name it, tame it, right? So that's Dr. Siegel.
Ooh,
Yeah, Dr. Siegel. I
that's
love
good.
it. I use Name It, Tame It all the time. Right. But it's so it's the idea that, like, if it doesn't mean that it's not going to be around, right? But if I can identify what it is, if I can call it out, if I can name it, then I can figure out tools and ways to tame it and around it, right? So I don't think there will be ever a day, not well, not a day, ever a season where I like don't have pains of mom guilt. But it's like, how do I identify that that is what this pain is and work my head around it? I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, so my first thought, and I'm wondering if other people feel this way too out in the world when they hear something like that, is like, yeah, so that's mom guilt.
Yeah.
Now what?
No, exactly. Well, that's the taming piece, right? And so how do we help move that? And I think it looks different for everyone. But like, okay, think about you in the story you just told, right? So it's like, okay, I love the ball analogy. Someone told me one time of like, you're going to have a million balls. You just got to figure out which ones are glass and then how to keep those ones in the air, right? And so like our kiddos are glass balls. Our jobs are glass balls. Like those are equal, but like it's how do we keep them all in the air, right? So you did it and you're like, okay, I will book this time. They may not get a full freaking day of it. They may not get the whole world, but I can be intentional about giving them a piece of what they need. And then you worked your head around the other piece of like, okay, well, that means that work is going to have to sit here. And then I'm going to put up boundaries around what that looks like for when I'm with my kid. And that means like I'm not checking my phone or I'm not taking calls. And then the same goes, okay, then the boundary is girlfriend, love you, had fun, drop you off. And then I got to go to work. And that means the vice versa. So I do think if we can be really intentional about identifying it, it's not going to go away. That guilt piece. I'm just going to be, I don't think it does. I think I still have the pangs of it. I did the same thing Friday. I took Friday off, took the kids to fair, and didn't answer any emails and still felt guilty about it, right? I think like if I can identify it and create things around it, it helps me move through it. I don't know. What else do you think helps with the mom guilt piece?
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. I think that's true. And I think like when my kids were younger, right? So like if we talk about when the kids are young, because you and I have like teens and preteens. And so when we talk about our experience now, it's easy to remember though when the kids were really little and they want to be with you all the time.
Yes.
And so the drop at daycare is hard, you know?
Yes.
And there's this reality that like this is just the life that we live. This is the world that we live in. These are the choices that we have to make. And so figuring out how to prioritize that together time.
Yeah. And the season, right? It is a season. I think of like littles require so much physical and emotional energy. And so I do that. Like I remember for me, when my kids, I worked like split schedules. So my kids weren't really in childcare until my youngest was like 15 months. And so then I remember dropping him off probably a month in and calling my mother crying from the car because like it was just so hard to leave him. And I did feel that giant wave of mom guilt because they all wanted to be with me. They didn't want to go to school that day. I didn't want to go to work. And so it was like just, all the things. And it is an intense season.
Yeah, it really is. That's hard. That's really hard. And my childcare, both of them, like 6 weeks after I had them. And that was a function of requirement.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very, very hard. It was very hard. It's super intense. And we all survived it. And my kids are good, And, it was very much a team effort of getting them up and dressed. And, we had really tight relationships. Like I was, they felt very loved by me and their dad. And it's just hard. And it's workable. It's a time, and it's okay. If it has to be, it has to be,
Mm-hmm. What other things would you say around like that season and supporting the help with some of your mom guilt in that season?
Friends. I will say, right? So there were times when we had really good friends watch our kids for parts of the day, and that felt really good. That was really, really wonderful to have that support. I think calling my mom and just talking about how hard it was, and having people remind me in that moment, right? Like, be super present when you get home.
Yeah.
Be super present on the weekends, and just really, really connected. I mean, my kids were still like getting up in the middle of the night and like having to have bottles in the middle of the night, you know?
Yes.
And so, like, even being present during those times, right? Like, we're still making really good eye contact. We're like, I'm holding you against my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's another thing that I just said out loud right there, right? Which is that I couldn't nurse.
Yeah.
Right? I was giving my kids bottles. And so there's a level of mom guilt in that.
Yes.
You know, that's a whole complicated thing. And so I think in those moments, if you have people who can love you well and tell you it's okay, right? Like, you're doing the best that you can with what you have right now, and your kids are fine. They're going to be fine. You are going to be fine. And just like loving you well.
Yeah.
You have to find those people, and you have to like surround yourself with them. You have to allow them to love you well and pour into you and be vulnerable with them and be real with them. I mean, I think if we do this thing where we walk around and pretend to be fine all the time, we can't let anybody in that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, I think that's how I started this, right? Of like,
Right.
part of it is that I want to hold up my beautiful thing all together, because it is hard. It's hard for us to say, but that the struggle is real sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And that, like, our kids aren't always happy in it. I think that's the other big piece that can be for mom guilt, right? Is that when our kids are struggling, or they're not happy with the reality of the world we're in. And by that, I mean, like, the choices us as parents have to make to pay the bills and do the things and all those pieces.
Yeah. I think there's a thing I want to say about that. I think that our kids also don't know anything different.
Yeah. All right. Say more of that, because I completely agree with this. Tell me more.
So there are times when our kids want something to be different, and they have no idea what life in another family is like.
You and I talk about this often.
We do talk about this often. So,
for our own kiddos, yeah.
We do. So I think what I mean is, like, so my youngest, right, so she had a moment with me, I think it was like maybe a month ago. And I will say that, like, these days, I work like 8 to 4:30. If I have them, I work 8 to 4, like on the weeks that I have them. And on Fridays, I work part days, and I do not work on the weekends. And she said to me something like, "You work a lot." And I was like, "I really don't." And she was sort of befuddled.
Yeah.
And her dad has the ability to kind of work it's just super flexible, but he's done like at 2:30 or 3 a lot of the time. And a lot of the time on Friday, he's done at noon, and he works at home a lot of the days. And so her concept of like what working like quote unquote a lot is like, I think you might be confused about what that means. Like, let me drop you into a family for a minute with someone who works a lot, and I think you might get clarified on what that means. So I think there's like, our kids have sort of like expectations and preferences, and they don't have a realm of understanding of what the actual world looks like, you know, and like what the different things could actually be like.
Yeah.
So I think there's also this like, well, it like hurt my heart for her to be like, "You work a lot." And like, she's not happy about it. I was like, that feels terrible. Like, I want to, in that moment, my first thought was like, I want to work less, but also
I want to be with you.
I want to be with you. And
that's what we internalize, she's saying, right?
And then my very next thought was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I am very present for you in the evenings and all weekend. Like, what? So I think
Yeah,
there's
I think
just
their
some, like,
perspective is just limited. It really is. I often hear a lot of my kiddos' friends' moms are stay-at-home moms.
yes, and that's
And
it
so
too.
that's a big piece of like what I hear is
Yeah.
the difference of like, why can't you take me XYZ? And they can go everywhere. And why can't you shuttle me? And nope, can't work job thing. Like I just,
Yeah.
and so I think, but it is like they just don't have a full perspective or understanding. And I think when
Yeah.
they're little, like elementary school, right? Early elementary school, actually all the elementary school, like it's just harder because they don't get it. Mine are in middle school, older now, and I can say like they understand why I can't. But I still feel like, oh, I wish I could. I want to. I want to see all the things, but I can't.
Yeah. And so I think it's hard for everybody.
Yes.
And, you know, at some point, maybe there will be a level of understanding and maybe not. And that's okay too. You know, I think it's a matter of, for everyone, it's a matter of understanding and accepting that this is where we are, you know, and I think every piece of life requires a level of accepting this is where we are, even when the moments are uncomfortable. Like there's a skill there.
Yes.
Which
That we don't
doesn't
always want to lean into.
I was just gonna say it doesn't always feel great.
For sure. For sure. Okay. So I think the reason I was like, I didn't know how to like wrap this in a bow, maybe. Or it doesn't have to be, right? But like, what are the things? I think that was the other piece of me. Like, why do I know this is so hard? It's like, how do we actually help parents and give the support through this mom guilt thing? What do you say, Katie? What do you think?
So I will say the thing that has helped me the most, and probably I started getting better at this in the last year, let's be real, 6 months, is really being very intentional about my mindset in a given day. And that takes not hitting snooze on my alarm 17 times, but like getting up in the morning and going through my routine. And so, I mean, we've talked about this before, right? But like my routine in the morning, I get up and I move my body in some capacity. And then I have a journaling kind of like ritual that I do, but I go through like what are my like values and my goals and am I aligned with them? And so when I think about my values, a lot of that has to do with how am I showing up for myself? How am I showing up for my kids? What's important to me, right? Because when we are moms in general, and, you know, working or not, we tend to go 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're always doing a million things. And I think if we're not really intentional about how we spend our time, it gets sort of frittered away, you know, like it just goes 100 directions.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't sit down and intentionally make a plan for where you're going to spend your time and if it aligns with where you want it to. And so it's really helpful for me to kind of set my intentions for the day and the week ahead of time, and then regularly kind of check in about how I'm doing that. And taking care of myself, right? So moving my body, drinking a lot of water, eating well. So just kind of being intentional about the day and the week. And if I'm investing in relationships well. So with my kids, with my good friends, so that I've got community. And that helps me just feel like I've got more balance and I'm not functioning out of reactivity. So that's really, really helpful for me. It helps me feel more balanced in general. And I think, like in terms of what our kids need from us, right? So they need for us to be present. They need for us to be stable and emotionally healthy and available for them. And when we look at the research, it talks about the quality of relationship over the quantity of time. And that's been very helpful for me to know and keep like close to my heart in terms of like a data point for me to remember. What is helpful for you when you think about trying to manage all of this, and like what you help parents with or moms with in this realm?
Yeah, I do all the things. So all that self-care piece, I remind myself, I gotta put my mask on before I can put my kid's mask on, right? I gotta make sure I'm on the airplane. That's the airplane thing, right? I gotta put my own
oxygen mask.
Thanks, friend. I gotta put my oxygen mask on before I can put my kids on. So I like all that. My self-care looks a little different, but yeah, doing the things I need. And then the other piece that is very big for me is community, and whether that be like asking, the big thing is asking for help. So whether that be like, help, I need to cry on your couch, Katie, because I feel like I'm just failing all the things today, or help of like, hey, friend, mama, can you pick up my kid? Can you run them here? Can you help me understand this conversation that went down with them and I'm so confused by? Or whatever it is really leaning in to my community for that. And I think the other thing I just thought of that is very, very helpful for me is I am very blessed to have some seasoned mamas, meaning like they're grandmamas, and going to them, because I think the reality is there's always been this layer of mom guilt that has happened. And so hearing from them of like, yep, girlfriend, and look, it's going to be okay. When they have grown kids.
Yeah.
Who are okay. Like,
yeah,
life is hard, right? And I think that just hit me of like, that is actually, when I'm really, really in the trenches of mom guilt, that's who I go to.
Oh, that's so good. That's great advice.
Yeah. It's been really helpful. And so, yeah, I think that's it. Naming it to tame it is also really important for me.
Yeah. And I think, again, we're back to that concept of like making sure that you've got a good community of people to love on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for today.
And we're wishing you courage for the hard moments and a sense of humor for everything else. See you next time.
Our music is by Stephen Bedall. If you're loving these conversations, we'd be so grateful if you followed the podcast, left a review, or shared this episode with a friend. That's how we grow this little front porch community. And remember, the days are long,
but the years are short. While we often talk about mental health, this should not be used as a substitute for mental health treatment. If you or your child are struggling, please reach out to a local provider.